Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Creative Sewing with Michelle. Yay, awesome! Alright, so guys, check it out. So the first thing I'm going to do for my first little thing here is I'm going to show you how I make my own deck pouches or deck bags or whatever. So what I've done is I have measured out a deck of cards, and I wrapped the cloth around it and stuff and got my measurements and everything. So I'm not going to tell you my measurements, so you just got to get your own measurements. So anyway, this side here is going to be, this is what's going to be outside, this lovely red and sparkly stuff. And it's going to be sewed to canvas. I find canvas is very sturdy, very washable, very durable. Alright? And what I did was I used this Crazy Art washable glue that dries clear on the edges. And it does a couple of different things. One of the things it does is it glues the edges down so that when I'm sewing everything, the feed dogs are unable to separate my fabric. So that's cool. So no pinning or any of that stuff. And I actually got that from another video that I watched from someone else. So that was brilliant. Let me put this down. Another thing that I do is once I get it glued down, I'm now going to sew it in here. So let's get started with that. I am leaving the opening so I can pull this through. So here we go. Let's turn this guy on. Let's see. The machine I'm using is a Genome 2212. And when I purchased this machine, it was got them off of Amazon for $139. You cannot purchase them for $139 on Amazon. I got this guy, oh god, when was it? 2017, I want to say. And I got him to make canvas bags, but I didn't know anything about sewing. I didn't even know that the fabric I needed was called canvas. So that's how much of a little newbie I was. Still am, actually, if you think about it. Here we go. Alright, hold up guys, hold up guys. I want to make this so that you can actually see something on here. So let me try this little box. And hopefully it won't make a shadow. Alright, there we go, there we go. Oh, still not quite there. There we go. So I've got my little scant 1/4 inch seam guide here. This is a 1/4 inch foot. Lovely and fabulous. Alright, so now let's get started. So I start this being a little bit forward, and then I'll do hand cranks because I have a mechanical machine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a back stitch all the way to the edge. And the reason why I do this is because I want to minimize fraying and separating as much as possible. And I want my stitches to be good and strong. I don't want any willy-nilly stitches. Oh, here we go. Alright, here we go. And then I just go forward, and hopefully it doesn't get stuck. Now, another thing the glue does is it stabilizes the threads. So when it dries hard, what happens is it'll make it so that the fabric is stiff. So it's less likely that those edges are less likely to get caught while I'm sewing. So there we go. So I'm going to take that guy here and go forward one more. I'm going to do my back stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do like 3 or 4. I'll go 1. I can do this hand cranking, but there you go. Alright, so now bring this guy up, leave him on there. My needle is down. So you can see that that needle is down. Yay, awesome. Alright, and we're going to come back over here. And I'm going to sew the bottom of this guy. So I go forward a little bit, a couple stitches. And then I like to do an extra back stitch. This is probably unnecessary, but I do it anyway. So it makes me feel better. There you go. There we go. Fantastic. This is pretty quick. The most time-consuming item that I have is cutting the fabric, and then, you know, getting that guy ironed and all that stuff. Because if the fabric that you get is not cut evenly like it's supposed to be, you'll need to fix that. And that just really sucks. I'm going to say it really, really is horrible. Alright, here we go. And I'm going to go forward again for a couple of stitches. And then I'm going to back stitch. And then now I'm going to seam up the rest of the side. Look at that. Nice and even and lovely. I didn't need, you know, it takes time to what they call basting when they put glue on there. But you know what? It's worth it, I think. I think it is absolutely worth it. And I'll do this a few times in this guy here. Alright, so when you do your basting, all you're going to do is you will put the glue down, and how you're not going to wait for it to dry by air. You're going to have it dry by putting an iron on it, okay? And so that's going to bond it, and it's going to dry at the same time. Now here's the great thing about this. Let's say that you got things a little off center. You can always undo it or take it apart, and it will not hurt the fabric at all. So it'll be fine. And the fact that this is going to be on the well, anyway, it'll be fine. And then you can redo it again. I do that with, well, I don't do that with anything else. Alright, here we go. So now I have done my stitching and my sewing for this guy. Let's see how he is. Nice, lovely stitches. I know it's a little dark in here. So there you go. We'll come out here, nice and even. Let's see, I have my tension set to a 5. I have the stitches on A, which is center. And the stitch length is between 2 and 3. So, you know, that's what I do. It doesn't mean it has to be that way. It's just what I have right now. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this back. And I'm going to bring this through. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. That's real pretty. I'm going to pull this guy through, just like that. I'm going to tuck in the ends, just like that right there, tuck it in. It's going to go in just like that. I'm going to do the same thing with the other end, right there. And he's going to get tucked in, just like that. And anything that isn't completely tucked, this is big enough for my hand, so I'm going to bring my hand in and tuck in this way as well. Now, you don't want to tuck out too much, because what's going to happen is your seam is going to start coming out, which is why I do the double seam. And I kind of like rounded edges. I mean, I like those perfect 90-degree angles too, but I also like the rounded edge. So you have that guy, and you have that guy. This one is a little bit more square rounded. You never know what kind of edges you're going to get. So it's kind of unusual. Alright, so now there's this guy here. We have this length. Okay, let's bring this out a little bit. There you go. So you've got this box for a nice little comparison. This had my wallet in it. I love it. So there you go. Alright. So now I'm going to pause this for just a moment. Can I pause? I don't think I can. Alright, so I'm going to stop this for a moment. Then I will come back with part 2, okay? Bye!